Welcome to round 2 of the Good Great series. I want to spend a little bit of time talking about yesterday's in-service with Ria Schmidt on that eye observation. It was a full day of just beginning to learn about our new observation tool. I know that quite a few of you had to be on overload because of the amount of information, but I think it was quality information, and it's a great start for us to talk about things that should be going on in the classroom. Now, in each one of these videos, I want to try to model or actually practice some of the things that we expect you as classroom teachers to do every day in your classrooms. And so the first thing is for me to talk about target goals. And the target goal of this video is to improve student learning outcomes by providing feedback to you, the teachers, about your instructional performance. So that's my goal. That's what I want to try to work on during our discussions. So some of the modeling for me is to practice the same things that we expect you as the classroom teachers to do. And the first thing is to decide, what do you want the kids to know by the end of the lesson? Well, these are the things that I want you to know, or what I call exit tickets. First question would be, at the end of this lesson, why is the desired effect or the student learning outcome goals so important to monitor? Number 2, what kinds of accurate feedback do you use to plan and teach the next lesson? And the third question, or combination of questions, what level are you at and why? And how you plan to improve your application? And this is over that a 4-point scale that I'm going to show to. So I apologize in advance for my amateur videotaping of a sheet of paper and holding it up in front of my computer screen, but I'm going to learn how to do this a little bit better. But for now, hopefully it's going to work to our advantage, and so we don't have a big delay of time between debriefing what we want to go on in the classroom and what we recently learned yesterday during our eye observation in-service. Are you a one where you're just a teacher and you just didn't know certain things about practices and procedures or different applications? And that's fine. It just tells us where we're at and where we need to go. The next one is number 2. Are you a teacher that you understand and recognize instructional vocabulary and concepts such as feedback, instructional performance, desired effect, and elements of instruction? Or 3, a teacher that you've got deliberate and intentional practice of certain learning activities in the classroom, and you understand and practice specific teacher skills? Or are you like a professional basketball player, and whatever you do on your basketball court or in your classroom, you make it look so easy when using and applying and creating different types of learning activities, and then you take it the next step and you self-reflect on what you did well, or what went well in the classroom, or what needs to have some kind of improvement. So let's talk about the desired effect, or the student learning outcomes. Why is it so important to monitor? Well, it's pretty simple. We have to know what they know and what they don't know. And it has to happen immediate. You need to have that immediate feedback before they leave your classroom or before you move into the next lesson. Otherwise, how do you prepare for tomorrow's lesson? Do you continue to teach to the end of the week and you give a quiz? And what if they don't pass your quiz or your test? You've lost a full week of instruction or a full week of learning, and you have to back up and reteach and then go on to the next lesson. Each lesson needs to have that immediate feedback to know what they know and what they don't know. And you need to sample that often during a lesson. Now, different types of feedback involve quick responses. You could do it through observation. You could ask them to tell you what they know. That'll give you that immediate feedback. To have some kind of written response done during class so that before they leave your classroom, you've had a chance to know exactly where they're at and not wait until tomorrow when they come back with their independent practice or their homework. That is at that mastery level. the homework phase. But before they leave your classroom, you need to know what they know, and it has to be done immediate so that you know how to prepare for the next day's lesson. Now, when you plan your lessons or teach lessons during the day, you have to think about specific things that you want them to accomplish in that 50 minutes of a lesson. You don't want to provide too much information because then it becomes overload. Too much information, they're not going to pick up on. So you have to narrow it down to one or two things that you want them to learn and learn well. As soon as they have that base of knowledge, tomorrow is another day. You review what you learned the day before, you make sure that they understand it well, and you move forward from there. Giving too much information in one lesson, no one's going to learn all of those concepts or vocabulary terms or expectations. So sometimes you have to think in baby steps. We move forward faster than in large pieces of information. So lots of times we call it chunking. We chunk information. We learn bits and pieces along the way. We evaluate what the kids know and what they don't know. It provides us that feedback on how well each one of the students are doing on each of the concepts or what we want them to learn. Okay, I want you to look at that scale, and I'm going to email it to you too instead of trying to catch it on my amateur videotaping. And again, I'm going to improve on that. But I want you to look at that scale. And I put it together because I want us to understand and reflect of where we're at right now. If I had to look at that scale and use it as a classroom teacher of where I left off, I would put myself at about a 2. I believe I'm a teacher that understands and recognizes a lot of the concepts and vocabulary, but I don't believe that I use deliberate and intentional practice of these skills in the classroom as often as I believe I should. And I definitely am not the teacher that makes things look easy. Like a professional basketball player doing all kinds of layups and shots and whatever else. Now, the reason why I want us to look at that is because we need to face the brutal facts of where we're at and where we need to go. And that provides us the why we need to start having discussions on different kinds of instructional strategies, common language, so we improve what we do in the classroom. And again, that will affect student outcomes, that desired effect. So take a look at DQ1 and DQ2, and let's talk about that communicating of the learning goals and getting that feedback. You can see and understand or begin to understand the importance of those target goals. DQ2 talks about helping students interact with that new knowledge, identifying that critical information, and then organizing students to know how to interact with that new information or just chunking the information. So now that we've had a little bit of a discussion, or me actually talking to you and you listening and hopefully processing a few things, I need to collect information from you, or I need to collect feedback. And the feedback is going to be done in a certain way. I would like you to do that activity we did yesterday, which was talk a mile a minute. And so with that, I want you to answer the 3 main exit ticket questions in the form of video and then send the video to me. So I'm not sure how you're going to do it. You may have to ask for help from teachers around you, the techies, and you can do it through an iMovie, maybe the camera on your computer, but either email it to me or send it to me on maybe an iMovie. I'm not sure exactly how this is going to be sent to you, but I want you to start practicing using a video camera and taping yourself, and you start to see a little bit more of how you present yourself. And I'm learning all about myself right now. And it's just a great learning experience. And you improve the more you see what you do and what you don't do. Those are things that are going on in the classroom. And eventually we do want you to videotape yourself in the classroom, or better yet, videotape the kids as you're teaching a lesson or as they are learning. You pick up on much more about what's going on in that classroom by doing a reflection later. And that's part of that feedback. You can see what the students are getting, or you read what they are learning and how you can improve as a teacher. So I'm going to send the exit ticket questions to you. And what I'd like you to do is a video, talk 1 mile a minute and a mile a minute, and videotape your thoughts on the 3 exit ticket questions. And please have them to me by the end of this week. So today is Tuesday. If you could have your video sent to me by Friday, I would appreciate it. And again, it's my feedback. I need to know where you're at or where we're at a staff, and we move forward from there. So thank you and good luck with your video.